Iron Lung is the latest film from a YouTuber, this time Mark Fischbach, aka Markiplier. Set in a single location, the eponymous submarine nicknamed an Iron Lung, the film follows a convict as he's sent down into an ocean of blood on a moon following the disappearance of stars and planets, known as the Quiet Rapture. I find that it is crucial to lay something about me out in the open. I don't watch a lot of YouTube separate from the circles which focus on films, and I'm not a gamer. That left me in the position of not knowing Markiplier for anything except his name, and that he existed with a large online following, and having no clue what the video game this is based off of, Iron Lung, is about. A friend gave me a quick rundown of lore, both for the film's narrative and the story of the film's creation, so I didn't go fully blind, but I went in trying to know as little as possible, so as if my criticisms be unclouded, and from my perspective as a film guy first and foremost. One aspect I can't deny is that the movie is incredibly well made, from a craft's perspective. The first main draw is DP Philip Roy's cinematography. The consistency with which the camera is locked down truly amplifies the constriction of the hastily constructed submarine. It certainly isn't flashy in that regard, but it gets the job done in conveying the protagonist's claustrophobia. Not to suggest that is all the camera is doing in Iron Lung. When the camera is moved, it's to create a sense of subjectivity, as Fischbach's Simon gradually goes insane within the confines of his predicament. The extreme close-ups and lens flares, to name a couple of components, really spice things up in the solidifying of perspective. The movie does have a concrete visual style. Its blending of shots conveys Simon's descent into insanity, while also emphasizing at the utmost importance the submarine's restrictive spatial geography. I also love the implementation of practical effects. The submarine itself has this grungy aesthetic fully baked into its being, with an attention to detail which really hammers it home how much of a passion project this is for Fischbach. With the visuals as well as the practical effects, it is crystal clear that this is the movie that he had intended to make. Every time he's hurled about inside the contraption, the devotion comes through. The third act climactic scene in particular stands out as being as entertaining as it is because of how much of the horror set piece has this pulpy, haptic feel to it. Especially as the movie goes on, and the blatantly B-movie horror vibes rise to the surface, Iron Lung evolves into a... fun isn't quite the word I'm looking for. Enjoyable gorefest, which serves the story that he's trying to tell, that of the importance of life and the cosmic forces which make it all seem insignificant, instead of simply being hollow tripe. But the movie is nothing, if not deeply flawed. The passion for the source material and excitement for this particular story ring clear, but I don't think that Iron Lung is able to sustain its runtime. I commend the decision to make a slow-burn psychological horror movie with a runtime exceeding 2 hours, but the concept does no favours. The entire premise of a lone submarine within an alien setting with one person inside and little external communication is difficult to make propulsive. Sadly, a lot of it feels stagnant. No shade to Fischbach as an actor, he did pretty well in embodying the character, and I could suspend my disbelief like one would for a comedian or a rapper in a dramatic role. But he can't carry it all alone. I don't mind the over-characterized gruff machismo with the imposed deep voice. It seemed to fit the pulpier leaning tones of the story. This may be more of an issue for a wider film-going audience than for his fanbase, but I don't think he's got the gravitas to keep a 2-hour film of just him in one confined room, basically, going. I think it would be difficult for most actors to do such a feat, to clarify. There's a solid chunk of Act 2 which could be trimmed in my opinion. The first act is solid in establishing the greater world the story takes place in, lays down breadcrumbs for the protagonist's backstory, and features him interacting face to face with another character, where his actions have more impact. It starts the narrative off strong. Then there's the aforementioned climax, which is also strong, but because of the gross horror which is on display, and the practical effects. For comparison, Act 2, the fun and games section specifically, is more tedious and sluggish, feeling as if wheels are simply being spun around. Trim the movie down to maybe an hour and a half, a bit less than that, and Iron Lung could probably be a bit juicier. The writing also has an issue with profanity. It reads like Fischbach trying to make the character seem a little edgy, saying fuck in every other sentence. I'm not a prude when it comes to cussing, but the over-reliance on it in a script where it doesn't illuminate character traits is frustrating to listen to. Amidst all this, I find Iron Lung to be a really cool stepping stone for the evolution of a new branch of independent film, one which can be pushed to thrive from online fan demand, which will likely not be available to all up-and-coming filmmakers, but it's certainly something, and I do respect the decision to go all in on a psychological horror movie, which dares to err on the side of artistic expression, rather than caution. It's just that I find that something like Iron Lung is difficult to maintain for such a runtime. It's a bit sluggish in the middle. Iron Lung, 3 stars. Well, that's all. Keep on watching movies and form your own opinions. See you in the next one.